Hi everyone, it's Richard McMahon from the career guidance company howtobecome.com, and in this presentation I'm going to give you a tuition on abstract reasoning tests. I'm going to give you some really cool tips for helping you to pass this kind of test, and also at some stage during the video I'm going to disclose where you can get free access to more abstract reasoning tests. So the idea is that I'll give you a tuition and then you start practicing these yourself. Okay, and I want you to have a go at a couple of the questions that I'm going to give you during the presentation. So pay attention, take notes, and then be prepared to get the access details for free abstract reasoning tests. So, abstract reasoning test question number 1. The question is, which figure completes the series? So we've got a series across the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at which one comes next, which one completes the series. So on the left there of square number 1, we have a column of 3 squares. It's the same for each of the 4 main squares with the patterns in them, okay? But each of the smaller squares are different. So we're looking for a sequence here. And you'll become more competent with these as you progress through them and try more of them. So straight away, I'm looking from the bottom, A, B, C, or D, which one will come next? So I'm looking for a series of patterns. So I can see here that all the squares within each main square are the same with regards to the pattern, but we're looking for a different sequence. So straight away, I'm looking for a change. So the top one in number 1 is a black shaded square. If I go to number 2, you'll notice that it's moved down to the second one, and then on the third one, it drops to the final one. So there's a pattern and a sequence straight away. Then in the fourth one, you'll notice that that black shaded square goes back to the top. So my guess is that the one that comes next will have a black square there as the second one down. I haven't even bothered touching this part here yet. Okay, so straight away, if I look at the bottom ones, I can see that it's not C because there isn't a second one there. It's not A because there isn't a second one there. Finally, it's not D. So the answer has to be B. So if we just reaffirm this, if we look here with the triangle that's pointing to the right, it's located there on number 1. On number 2, it goes to the top. Number 3, it drops to the second one down. The 4th, it drops to the bottom one. And therefore, the 5th one, it must drop to the left, which correct there. So we just reaffirm that the correct answer is B. So what I want you to do is to have a go at this one yourself. It's a similar question. So I've got a timer set up here. When I press the go button, I tell you to start. You work out which figure completes the series, which one comes next out of the top 4. And I want you to put your answer in the comments box below the video and tell me the reason why. So let's say you choose A, explain why you have chosen A. So don't forget to look for different sequences in the moving around, and straight away I'll give you a little clue. You can see the black square dropping down, but then going across to the right. So off you go. You've got 20 seconds to answer this question. So you've now got just 10 seconds left to complete the answer. And hopefully some of you will have finished this by now. And like I say, you will get faster the more times you practice this. Okay, so don't forget to put your answer, whether it's A, B, C, or D, and the reasons why in the comments box below the video. Question number 3, which figure comes next in the series? Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 across the top, and we have to select which one comes next, number 5, out of A, B, C, and D at the bottom. Now again, upon first inspection, these look quite confusing, but if we just look for patterns, so let's focus on one particular part. Okay, so if we look at the central circle, which is encased with a rectangle, you can see that there is a black circle on the first one, a white circle on the second, a black circle on the third, and a white one on the fourth, which tells me that the 5th one will probably have a black circle that's encased in a white rectangle. So straight away, we can remove B, because you can see there, B is the same as that one. It's not. We're looking for something like this, which means it's either A, C, or D. So straight away, we have eliminated one of the options. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for another sequence. So we've already got one sequence. The next sequence would be, let's have a look at the white dot there. And you'll notice that on the second one, it moves around clockwise by a quarter. So you can see on the first one, it's on the left, then it goes to the top, then to the right, then to the bottom. That means that the white one has to be there on the fifth sequence. Okay, so straight away we can cross out C again because it's not there. It is on A and D, but it's not on C. So we're now left with two options. Okay, so the final one, I can do this quickly. If we look around the edge, you will see that the only one out of all of these to have a black dot is here on D. Well, there's no outer black dot, so we can straight away eliminate D. And the correct answer is, of course, A. Okay, so that's the correct answer. Question 3 is A. So we're looking for sequences and patterns, not just looking at the mass diagram or shapes. We're looking at one particular part. Focus on one particular part and look for the sequence, and you'll be able to answer these a lot quicker. So what I want you to do again is have a go at question 4. It's very similar to question 3. Which figure comes next in the series? Again, I'm going to give you 20 seconds, and I want you to have a look across the top, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which one comes next in the sequence, and then put your answer and the reasons why in the comments box below. So you've got 20 seconds from now. So we're just approaching the 10-second mark. And as I say, the more you practice these, the quicker you will become at getting the right answers. You'll get faster at it. Okay, so don't forget, put your answer in the comments box below the video. Next one, number 5. So again, when you start looking at these, they look quite confusing. But again, let's break this down. So this question is, this shape here is to this shape on the right, as this shape is to that. So we have to see what comes next here in the blank square. So again, I'm looking for patterns. I'm not getting confused by the shapes, and you can answer these relatively quickly. So straight away, I'm looking on the outside here of the first square, and it's got these shaded lines that are to the right, going down from top left to bottom right. Well, if I look at this one here, it's then moved to the next square in. Okay, so that's moved to the next square in. If we look at the black shaded part, that's moved in on the next one. And then if we look at this polka dot one with the small dots, that's moved to the center, which tells me that each of these shaded parts are moving in one at a time. And then this part here in the center goes to the outside. So if I go down to the bottom here, all I have to do is, and this is the beauty of it, I look at the central part and I just have to move it to the outside. That's all I have to do. So the correct answer is A, because you can see it's moving in the same sequence. That just goes to the outside. You can see there that with the small polka dots has moved to the center. The black one moves down. Okay, so that is the correct answer, is A. Okay, so which figure comes next in the series? Now these look like dominoes to me. So across the top, we have a series of dots. So we're looking for patterns, and the pattern can come in any shape or form. So I'm going to start off across the top, and I'm going to look for a pattern. 1, then there's 2 dots, then there's 3 dots. We've got a bit of a pattern there, but then it goes to 2, 2, and that breaks down the pattern. What about if we look at the bottom? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 1. There's no sequence there. So that's no good. We need to look elsewhere. So what about this? If I go diagonally, it goes 1, 2 dots, 3 dots, 1, 2. So perhaps the bottom would be 3 dots. But then the sequence would need to be very similar with here. So I will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4. So we've got a pattern of 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, which tells me that the next 3 should be 2s, and therefore the correct answer is C. That's the only way that we have a pattern there showing on that one. Next one, let's have a look at this question. Number 6, which figure is the odd one out? So again, we're just looking for patterns and sequences. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to count up how many checkered squares there are in each one, see if there's one that's dissimilar. So we've got 1 there, there's 1 in there, there's 1 in there, 1 in there, so that's not a pattern. What about the grey squares? So there's 1 there, there's 1, 1, 1, so that's not a pattern. Let's have a look at the white squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my suggestion is the correct answer is D. Excuse me, it's D because that is the odd one out. It's just different from the others. not in terms of the shapes, but the number of squares there are. Okay, and you can look for many different sort of permutations of numbers, of shapes, and it's just, as I say, when you practice these more, you will get really comfortable with them. Let's have a look at another one. I want you now to have a look at this next question and work it out. I'll give you 20 seconds. So you're looking for the odd one out, guys. Look for the odd one out, and you've got 20 seconds to answer the question. Off you go. Okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, great. And don't forget to put your answer in the comments box below.